Alright, let's try this beast. 2022 Kawasaki Ninja 400. Let's ride. Alright, so now let's do an acceleration test. 0 to 60 and 0 to 100. Let's go. Oh yeah! That's quite fast. Pwede na. Alright, good day mga ka-rides, fellow riders. Another day, another vlog, another bike. And now we are riding the Ninja 400. This is the little brother of the Ninja 650 that we have already tried and reviewed. So just check the link that you can see on the screen. And this is the faired version of the Z400, which we already have made a review as well. So shout out and thank you so much to my good friend, the owner of this bike, Mr. Dominic Wayman. So I hope I pronounced the name right. So he's an American, that's why I'm trying to do my best to speak in English, so he will understand what I'm talking about or what I'm saying about this bike. First impression, the bike feels really comfortable. Sobrang comfortable niya mga ka-rides. It's like riding a naked bike na may looks ng sports bike. The feel of the bike, you feel really planted. Kahit na you're going at speeds around 140, 150, the bike feels comfortable. Even in cornering. So one good thing about this bike is that it will not give you a pain in the back. Unlike the Super Sports, the R1s, CBR 1000s, ZX10Rs, itong bike na to, you're sitting a bit upright. So even if you do a long ride, like 2-hour trip or 3-hour trip, it will be fine. And also for the passenger, the brakes are good. Okay. The suspension, I feel that it's not as stiff as the Super Sports, but not as soft as the naked bike. So just in the middle, which makes this bike very good for both city driving and of course touring. That's why this is called a sports touring bike. So let's check the turning radius of this bike. Alright, it performs like a naked bike, so that's really nice. The stock tires also have good grips, which makes you confident during corners like this.
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
Alright. Okay, stop muna tayo rito sa may gilid. So this is our bike for today, the Kawasaki Ninja 400. I really like the color. Sobrang ganda, maporma, very masculine. So I prefer this color. Pero of course it depends on the person. Some like the green, some like the white, but this one I like darker colors like gray and black combination. So let's now go to the specs. This bike has 399cc parallel twin with 180-degree crank, liquid cooled, double overhead cam, 8 valves, fuel injected, and mated to 6-speed manual transmission. So the bike has 48.9 horsepower at 10,000 rpm and 38 newton meters of torque at 8,000 rpm. So this bike is kinda high revving. You will feel the engine comes alive at around 8,000 rpm. So that's where the fun starts. Though this kind of bike, this kind of engine, you will feel the torque from low to mid. So this is good for overtaking even if you're using this in the city. So okay pa rin siya. Hindi ka mahihirapan. So you will still feel comfortable even riding at low speeds, city traffics, because this bike is not as heavy as the other sports bikes. In fact, this is just about 167 kilos wet weight, so including the gasoline, including the oils and all the fluids there. So it's quite light. It's like riding an MT-07. So you will still feel comfortable, unlike pagka sobrang big bikes na like 1000cc bikes, you will feel a bit more stressed. So here's the front. You get a telescopic fork, non-adjustable, large 310mm single disc brake with ABS and Nissin calipers. The tire size is 110/70/17 tubeless. For the rear, we get 220mm single disc brake, of course with ABS, Nissin calipers, and the tire size is 150/60/17. So by the way, the fuel tank capacity is 14 liters. And the average fuel consumption of this bike is around 29 kilometers per liter on the paper, but it depends on your throttle hobby. If you always prefer revving hard, so that's a different story. Maybe you'll just get around 25 kilometers per liter or maybe less. Still very fuel efficient compared to 1000cc engines. Of course, this is just 400cc. But don't get me wrong guys, even if this is just 400cc engine, this can still go up to 200 kilometers per hour. Let's check the instrument panel. So nice. So very simple and easy to read instrument panel. The check engine light, neutral indicator, ABS indicator, tachometer, analog type, but the speedometer is digital. So neutral indicator here also. We also have the clock, fuel gauge. So if you press this button, you'll get the trip A and trip B and back to odometer. And then we'll have the engine temperature here, and when we press this button here, the display will change here, like from average fuel consumption, you'll still get the range display, and then the actual kilometer per liter consumption, and then the average. So that's it. Very simple, basic. Now to the controls, the switches. So first, the levers, non-adjustable clutch levers, and also the brake levers, non-adjustable. But you do get a passing light switch here, high beam and low beam, right signal lights and left signal lights, no hazard, and the horn still stock, I think, and engine kill switch here at the right, and of course the electric starter switch. So that's it. The owner replaced already the stock side mirrors, so this one already came from the ZX25R, because he told me that the stock side mirrors are a bit longer, which he doesn't really like. So he preferred this one, the shorter ones from the ZX25R. And then the seat, so it's really comfortable. Malambot siya. The seat is soft. For the passenger, just enough cushion, but not as comfortable as the riders, but still good. And he also installed the aftermarket sliders for the engine protection, just in case, and aftermarket slip-ons, Akrapovic. So let's do a sound check. Sound check. Wow. So here in front you get LED headlights, park light, but the signal lights are bulb type. So let's check the rear. So here we also get the LED tail lights and bulb type signal lights. I think the tail light is the same with the ZX6Rs. I'm not so sure, but I think it's the same. Alright, so this is how a 5.9.5 looks like when on board the Ninja 400. So I'm flat foot, so both feet flat on the ground with a slightly aggressive position when riding, so you still have plenty of room. If you want to go fast, so you can just adjust a little bit, move backwards and then lean forward. Pero if you like relaxed driving, so you can just move forward a little bit, so you're sitting upright like this, but not in an awkward position. The bike feels light, 167 kilos, so easy to maneuver even in city traffics. So this bike is really good, especially for those beginners who like to upgrade from 250s to 400. So okay, balik na tayo. Back to base. So for 340,900 pesos, you'll get this bike. Also, I almost forgot, this bike has slip and clutch assist. So whenever you downshift, you don't really feel the engine braking. You will still feel the smoothness of the engine. Or like this one, downshift. So you see, smooth as butter. And because this is clutch assist, when you squeeze or when you press the clutch lever, it's really light. So the question is, to whom is this bike for? Well, for me, this bike is good for everyone. This can still give the excitement for those experienced riders. I'm talking about the regular riders, not the professional racers. But for experienced riders, they will not really feel bored on this bike. But of course, you will not expect so much power and speed from this one because this has a smaller engine. If you prefer a faster bike with the same feeling and ergonomics like this, you should get the bigger brother, which is the Ninja 650. But for the beginners, I highly recommend this bike. This is very easy to use. Since this is a 2-cylinder engine, you'll feel a slight vibration, which is normal. Unlike the inline 4s or even the 3-cylinder engines like the Triumph Trident 660, which is really smooth. Parallel twin engines tend to have a bit of vibration, but it's tolerable. I also feel a slight engine heat between my legs, especially when riding a bit slow. The engine heat is still better compared to the nakeds because the fairings serve as protection. So overall, this bike is awesome. This bike is great, very comfortable, worth the money. And I think this bike will be enjoyed for many years. Since it's Kawasaki, you know, it is reliable. Lots of aftermarket parts. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks in advance for supporting my small YouTube channel. Big thanks to my friend Mr. Dominic Wayman, the owner of Buddha Motorsports. Please do visit his shop located at Pineda Road, Barangay San Pedro, Puerto Princesa City. And this has been your bro, reminding you to always ride safe and stay alive. God bless.